Good afternoon, listeners. This is your man Franklin, and I bring you the latest sports updates once again in the English Premier League as the last time that we met. Chelsea will be playing Brighton and Hove Albion coming this evening, 7 o'clock p.m. And then the game at hand, and then looking at the games that is left for them, makes their qualification to the UEFA Champions League or the European competition very, very difficult. And that's why I would say the muddy part. But you see, if you look at the games left in hand for Chelsea, if you look at the games left in hand for that of Liverpool Football Club, and that of the games that is left in hand for Aston Villa, it makes it very, very difficult and so hard to predict as to whether Chelsea can make the top 4 or the top 5. Because currently you could see that for looking at the point gap between Aston Villa and Chelsea is 10 points, and that of Liverpool and then Chelsea is 7 points. And then if you compare the games that is left, looking at the injuries that Chelsea is facing, the injury records on facing Chelsea currently doesn't actually favor them so much. You could see that Reece James is out. There's one guy that when he's in the team, he shows leadership. He comes into the midfield, he gives you that kind of midfield combativeness. He knows what he's doing. When it comes to scoring of goals, he gives it to you. Laying, crossing into the 18-yard box to make sure that the strikers can compete for it and get the ball back into the net. He gives it for you. Such a key player at this crucial point in time of the season. He is not around, and today they are playing against a team that over the years has actually happened to have I don't know how to say it, but have actually they seem to disturb Chelsea a lot. They give Chelsea a lot of problems, especially in the attacking wise. And Chelsea is going to be without one of their young sensationals, Estevao Willian. We know Brighton and Hove Albion, what they bring on board. They have Yankuba Minta, a terror in attack, and we saw in the first game what they actually did to Chelsea, where Chelsea was leading by and then later they lost by 3-1. This time around we are going away to them, and it makes it very difficult to stick it out, especially knowing very well that Liam Rosinia, after his move from Racing Strasbourg to Chelsea, has not actually been so good in stamping his authority in games such as this. And we saw Everton beating Chelsea 3-0. And this time around, Chelsea is going to face a team without most of his key players, and without Reece James, that has been very pivotal, where mostly when he's needed in the midfield role he comes in. You could now clearly tell that yes, Chelsea have a mantle to climb. If they really want to make it into the Champions League, they would have to go all out, because the last 5 games of Liverpool is going to play home to Crystal Palace, and Chelsea will be going away to Liverpool. Literally, Liverpool will be playing 2 consecutive home games. You can see that Manchester United will be playing Liverpool, but Liverpool will be going away then, and then Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Liverpool Brentford. Yes, it is quite difficult games for Liverpool, but if you compare the kind of Liverpool results as to what Liam Rosinia is doing with this Chelsea side, I tell you, it is very, very difficult to stick your neck out for the coach. And then look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa will be playing that of Fulham away. We'll be playing Tottenham at home. They will be going away to Burnley, and they will be playing home to Liverpool Football Club, and then away to Manchester City. Yes, you can say that looking at the point gap, it makes it very, very difficult for Chelsea to catch up with Villa, because if Villa should even get a 2 win, it means that it actually seals the knot for them in the Champions League slot. But with Liverpool, unless of course Liverpool lose like about 3 games out of these ones, we are looking at the performance of Arne Slot's side, you can say that yes, it can happen. But can you say that Chelsea can also take the opportunity or the advantage to come in and then make sure that they win their next 5 games? Which is very, very difficult to actually say, because Chelsea is going to play away to Brighton and Hove Albion. We are playing home to Nottingham Forest in our next game. We are going away to Anfield, a very difficult ground for Chelsea. And in the past season, we've seen how difficult it is. Let's ask ourselves, when was the last time Chelsea actually won at Anfield? It's quite some years now, and it's just like the omen keeps on going on. And then from there, we will be playing Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, Tottenham happen to be the team that Chelsea has beaten most in the Premier League, and we know they are battling out with relegation. Currently they are in the relegation zone, but you see, with a team that you know that is a London derby and they are fighting to come out of relegation, clearly makes it a difficult game for Chelsea Football Club. Our last game will be against Sunderland at away, and that is also a very difficult game because Sunderland came to Stamford Bridge and destroyed that. They scored us 2-1. Let us not forget. And this is the Liam Rosinia team that they seem to have lost a lot of confidence. Let's also look at the last game against Manchester City. We seem to be disorganized. Defensively, everything is not happening for Chelsea. So how is Liam Rosinia going to make sure that he can actually bring this team, it looks like a disjointed team together, and make sure that, okay, if anything at all, Chelsea should at least have the fifth spot to make sure that they can make it into the Champions League. Blue Coal, I think, for them are actually trying to make way and then actually back the coach a lot. But you see, you can't stick your neck out for such a coach. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I feel that looking at what Enzo Maresca was doing with his youth, and then looking at what we did at the initial stages of the Premier League, you can see that our points accumulation has totally dropped drastically. If I'm not lying, I could say that if it was to be Liam Rosinia's standing on this kind of performance, probably Chelsea would also be trying to fight relegation or battle it out of relegation. And now these are things that we have to talk about. These are things that Chelsea fans will need to see. You could see that now their fans are going in for they are protesting against the owners because they feel that this was not a club that Roman Abramovich left for them, a club that used to win trophies. At least Chelsea hardly go 5 seasons without winning the Premier League under Roman Abramovich. This time around, things seem to be changing. Joseph Guardiola has come and he has stamped authority on it. But under the regime of Roman Abramovich, yes, Sir Alex Ferguson was winning, but Chelsea was competing. But this time around, that is not it for Chelsea. This evening, how is Liam Rosinia going to set his team up? Especially as ourselves. Now, we are without Estevao Willian. Alejandro Garnacho is not playing so well. João Pedro is doing his part. Cole Palmer has not been the Cole Palmer that we knew from last season. Pedro Neto seems to be on and off. And then you can talk of the midfield. Yes, Moises Caicedo is doing very well. But the brouhaha around that of Enzo Fernandez actually even seems to destabilize the midfield competition. Yes, Andre Santos, a young guy who is trying to fit into the system and actually give his all for Chelsea. But you see, this is not what we need. We need a Chelsea side that we've seen before. I think that Chelsea fans, we should actually count ourselves out of the Champions League, because if I look at our next 5 fixtures for us to complete the Premier League, and then looking at how difficult it is, looking at the point difference is actually very, very, very difficult, especially knowing that we are competing with the team that we are fighting for, Liverpool. We will be going away to Anfield. Come on, my guys, let's see. It's quite a muddy part. It's a difficult part, but all the same, things can still change. That is the game of football. Football is full of uncertainties. At a point in time when you expect that, yes, some teams will drop out, you see that, yes, they can perform. Chelsea has done it before. We saw it in the FIFA Club World Cup when we thought that, yes, Paris Saint-Germain were going to be as drastically. They changed things around. The only difference among this Chelsea side and Enzo Maresca's Chelsea is the coach at the touchline. I think he's not getting things right. But he's still a young coach. He's gotten a lot of things ahead of him. Probably people are now saying, yes, we should give him time so that he goes for his preseason. Probably he will begin to get things gelling. But financially, it's going to affect Chelsea. And it's going to affect the club, the kind of players that come in. And which means that if you are not able to buy a lot of players next season, it's also going to affect your Champions League qualification for next season. Now, the only route out for Chelsea is for them to either qualify for the Champions League to make them financially stable, or probably to win the English FA Cup, which is also very, very, very difficult, in order to qualify for the Europa League. Is that what Chelsea fans want? No. Blue Coal, and then the coach should step up. They should make sure that they get things gelling so that it can help the football club. I know that, yes, all fans probably listening to me are having a lot of division of ideas on this kind of project that is started. But this is Chelsea. This is our stage currently, and we would have to accept it. A true fan will know that, yes, we are going through a lot. Looking at the games at hand, I think it's a muddy part for Chelsea. If you like the video, you just watch, you share, and then you comment. Thank you very much.